Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Monopolist Paris, 종합전월 김일성. Mir Kraus, 종합전월 김승일.
talked to Kim Jong-un, first Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, first Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, guided tactical rocket launching exercise of the Strategic Force of the Korean People's Army. He was accompanied by Vice Marshal of the Korean People's Army, Hwang Byung-seo, Director of the General Political Bureau of the Army. Kim Jong-un mounted the top of the observation post and further report on the plan of the exercise. The exercise was conducted in the method of precision-guided and dispersed shooting for hitting individual and group targets of the enemy. The moment Kim Jong-un gave an order to start a tactical rocket launch, ballistic rockets were launched. The tactical rocket launching exercise of the Strategic Force of the Korean People's Army was conducted on the basis of a scientific calculation of the launching process and thorough security inspection and search of the flight orbit and target waters. It was smoothly conducted without affecting even a little not only the regional peace and security, but also international navigation over and ecological surroundings. The exercise fully proved the combat performance of the tactical rocket made with our strength and technology, and the future-based rocket launching method was completed. Kim Jong-un expressed great satisfaction over the successful tactical rocket launch and had a photo session with the officers and soldiers of the Strategic Force who participated in the exercise. He said peaceful surroundings, most precious to the Korean people, cannot be provided by others, nor sold or bought with anything. He stressed the need to put greatest spurs to further consolidating our self-defense deterrent force to firmly defend the security and peace of the country and the gains of revolution, as genuine peace is defended only by our great strength, nobody dares to challenge, and guaranteed only by our strength. He called for strengthening combat preparations of the Strategic Force and further developing and completing the future-based rocket science and technology and launching method must be addresses threatening and infringing upon our cause, sovereignty, and right to existence should run widely. Kim Jong-un expressed the belief that the officers and soldiers of the Strategic Force would make full preparations to launch powerful ballistic rockets at any moment in high altitude according to the demand of the prevailing situation and the development of revolution, and thus contain the senseless acts of the US imperialists and their satellites with abnormal disapproval of the DPRK, pursuing constitutional hostile policy towards it, and firmly guarantee the building of a prosperous socialist nation.
Respected Kim Jong-un, First Secretary of the Workers' Party of Korea, First Chairman of the National Defense Commission of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and Supreme Commander of the Korean People's Army, visited the newly built Galma Star Factory and gave the task to make good preparations for commissioning. He was accompanied by Han Kwang-sang, Department Director of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. The Galma Star Factory, built in the East Coastal area, is a modern fish processing base which produces various kinds of processed marine products, including salted pollock rolls, salted pollock entrails, dry mute, and dry squid. Respected Marshal Kim Jong-un proposed building the factory so as to provide the people with large quantities of delicious and highly nutritive processed marine products, personally named the factory, and solved all problems arising in construction. Looking around the production control room, processing room, freezing room, and different other places, he acquainted himself with the construction and gave the instructions on promoting the preparations for commissioning. He said it is the intention of the party to build the Galma Star Factory into model and standard of fish processing center according to the demand of the new century. He noted that as the construction is nearing completion, it is necessary to pay deep attention to building the inside and outside of the factory perfectly and establishing good draining and ventilating systems of the processing rooms to fully ensure hygienic security of the production workshops. He instructed that in order to produce a lot of processed marine products of different kinds after commissioning, it is necessary to steadily enhance the responsibility and the technical knowledge and skills of the employees and manage the modern freezing and processing equipment sent by the party properly. He said the factory should mass produce good products which would support the processed marine products of other countries in taste and quality to be popular among the people. And for the purpose, it is important to make cost business strategy and managerial strategy and present the tasks and ways for the supply of raw materials to normalize production and management of the factory. He stressed the need to finish the construction of the Kalma Foodstuff factory on the highest qualitative level so that it can play an important role in developing the fish processing industry of the country. He said now unprecedented innovations are being effected in fish catching on the fisheries front, filling the whole country with the social sea fragrance, and expressed the resolve to build an up-to-date processing factory specializing in the production of pickled fish in the West Coastal area on the basis of the experience in the construction of the Kalma Foodstuff factory in the East Coastal area. Respected Kim Jong-un expressed the belief that officials concerned and buildings would make good preparations to commission the factory in time.
Revolutionary activities of the respective Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un were reported abroad on June 26th and 27th. The news of his guidance to the test firing of ultra-precision tactical guided missiles newly developed on the cutting-edge level was reported by the Chinese Xinhua News Agency and Global Network, the Russian Interfax, Interfax News Agency, newspapers Rossiyskaya Gazeta, Izvestia, Moskovsky Komsomolets, Komsomolskaya Pravda, Veterinaria Moskva, Argumenty Infakty, and Novaya Gazeta, Radio Echo Moskvy, Internet television, internet newspaper, Mudgna.ru, internet news, Roswald, Ultra.ru, Duni.ru, News.ru, Ganta.ru, Gazeta.ru, Listed.ru, and Correspondente, an internet magazine, Novaya Politica, the Australian ABC, and the Japanese GZ Press, Asahi Shimbun, and NHK. The Nepalese newspaper Arpan carried the news of his inspection of Unit 167 of the Navy of the Korean People's Army, honored with the title of Ultimate-led 7th Regiment, and the Chinese Jilin newspaper and the Lao News Agency reported of his field guidance for the construction site of the Pyongyang Baby Home and Orphanage. The media of Nepal, China, and Laos carried the photographs of Kim Jong-un. Seminars, lectures, and memorial meetings recently took place in Russia, Kyrgyzstan, Italy, Malaysia, Serbia, and Mexico on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the demise of the great leader Kim Il-sung. Speakers at the event said all the achievements made in Korea are a victory of the Tsuchi idea, the revolutionary idea of Kim Il-sung. They praised him as a prominent great man who created the immortal guiding idea of the independent era and planted the loom in the road of humanity. He stressed that the name of the great Kim Il-sung will shine century after century along with the immortal Tsuchi idea. The 30th centenary of the start of work of the great leader Kim Jong-il at the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea was observed at seminars, book exhibitions, and film shows held in Russia, Guinea, and Libya. On display at the venue of the event were famous works of the great Kim Jong-il and respected Kim Jong-un and other Korean books. Speakers at the event said the great Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il were distinguished leaders who did everything in their power for the strengthening and development of the Workers' Party of Korea. They added that today, the Korean people are registering brilliant successes in the struggle for the building of an economic giant in firm unity around the Workers' Party of Korea centered on respect to Kim Jong-un. The DPRK documentary Munsu Water Park was projected at the film show. The international community praises the single-minded unity of Korea, in which all the army and people are firmly united around the respect to Kim Jong-un with one ideology, intention, and feelings. In the articles, blogs, and websites, statements, and appeals, the Brazilian Committee for Solidarity with the DPRK, the Nigerian National Committee for the Study of Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism, the Britain Korea Friends Association, and the 18th Seminar of World Political Parties on Building a New Society, said the single-minded unity of Korea achieved by President Kim Il-sung and consolidated and developed by leader Kim Jong-il is being developed on the higher stage today, and the center of the single-minded unity of the Korean society is leader Kim Jong-un. The Indonesian newspaper The First Times, the chairman of the National Federation of Transport Workers Unions of Indonesia, and the meeting of the General Council of the World Federation of Democratic Youth points out that the energetic leadership of respected Marshal Kim Jong-un is a fundamental source that further strengthens the single-minded unity of the revolutionary ranks in Korea. They added that under his leadership, the Korean people could foil the aggressive threats and sanctions of the United States and other outsiders and build grand monumental creations to the surprise of the world. The National Defense Commission of the DPRK made public a special proposal. Let us hold fast to the three principles of independence, peace, and great national unity, and open a new phase for the improvement of inter-Korean relations, addressed to the South Korean authorities on June the 30th. The special proposal said, due to the sustenance of the blocked inter-Korean relations, the gap of territorial division gets deeper day by day, and the great sorrow of the whole fellow countrymen desirous of reunification is so serious that it cannot be overlooked any longer. It is the present tragic reality that the three principles of national reunification confirmed before the nation, and even the valuable spirit of our nation itself, are ruthlessly infringed upon. Reflecting the desire of the whole fellow countrymen and the sentiments of all the nations, the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, with a resolute determination to hold fast to the three principles of independence, peace, and great national unity, and the spirit of our nation itself, and open a new turning phase for the improvement of inter-Korean relations, proposes the South Korean authorities, firstly, confirming before the nation once again to invariably hold fast to the principle of independence, and depending on it, solve all big and small problems between the North and the South. We propose promising the whole fellow countrymen once again to defend and thoroughly implement all the statements, declarations, and agreements adopted between the North and the South on the principle of independence on the occasion of the 32nd anniversary of the adoption of the July 4th joint statement. For the present, we call for making a political decision of totally stopping all slanders and abuses against the opposite side and all psychological campaigns related to them from 0 hours on July the 4th on the stand of attaching importance and giving priority to the nation on the principle of independence, as was agreed at inter-Korean high-level contacts in February last. Secondly, we propose showing the whole fellow countrymen and the world a resolute resolve to put a total end to all military hostilities that bring the inter-Korean relations to the brink of war and create a peaceful atmosphere on the principle of peaceful reunification. We propose the South Korean authorities that their sincere stand for the peace of the country be made clear by putting a total stop from 0 hours on July the 4th to all military hostilities which are ceaselessly repeated every day on all lines of confrontation, including the hot waters of the West Sea of Korea. Thirdly, we call for taking practical measures for opening a new phase of reconciliation, cooperation, and national prosperity in the spirit of our nation itself and on the principle of great national unity. We propose taking practical measures for opening a new phase of reconciliation and cooperation on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of the day when President Kim Il-sung, the lotus star of the nation, left a lasting final signature in the historic document concerning the Inter-Korean Summit talks, that is, July the 7th, 1994, in the last period of his great life. The South Korean authorities should make a bold political decision in response to our special proposal and take a big stride towards a new future with a will to resolutely pass on the undesirable past. The South Korean authorities should not forget that faithful July is watching their movement, the special proposal added. Nampo and Raphon City mass rallies were held on Sunday on the occasion of the June 25th day of struggle against U.S. imperialism. Present there were officials of local parties, government and economic institutions, and working people's organizations, working people of different stripes, and youth and students. Speakers at the rallies bitterly denounced the Korean War forced by the U.S. imperialists as the most barbaric and inhuman aggressive war ever known in the human history of wars. They stressed that if the US imperialists, oblivious of the disgraceful defeat in the First Korean War, trigger off another war on this land, they would sweep away the invaders and traitors to the last man and accomplish the historic cause of national reunification. The rallies were followed by anti-US demonstrations. Sports contest for Pochombo Torch Prize, which opened on June the 4th, came to a close. Its closing ceremony took place in Nampo on June 29th, which was attended by officials concerned, sportspersons, working people, and youth and students. Prizes were awarded to the excellent teams and players. The military band of the Korean People's Army and the Central Military Orchestra of the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation gave a joint performance at the East Pyongyang Grand Theater on Sunday. The performance was enjoyed by General of the Korean People's Army Hyun Myung-chol, Minister of the People's Armed Forces, officials of the Ministry of the People's Armed Forces, officials concerned, service personnel of the People's Army, and working people and youth and students in Pyongyang. Also appreciating the performance were staff members of the Russian Embassy in the DPRK. The performance, consisting of two parts, was given amid the common aspirations of the artists of the Korean military band and the Russian military orchestra to contribute to the development of traditional friendly relations. It was applauded by the audience. An organ concerned of the DPRK investigated American tourists Miller Matthew Todd and Jeffrey Edward Powlett, who had been detained for their hostile acts in the territory of the Republic. As a result of the investigation, suspicion on their hostile acts was confirmed by evidences and materials and their testimonies. The organ concerned continues to investigate them and is preparing to refer them to trial on the basis of the suspicion on the already confirmed hostile acts. Contacts with counsel, treatment, and so on in the course of investigation are done in conformity with the laws of countries concerned. Pyongyang, June 30th to 103 for 2014. The South Korean internet newspaper Voice of People ran an editorial on June 27th. The editorial said the president, with no ability to select candidates for the prime minister, has no reason to remain in office, and the Blue House, with no ability to verify the candidate for the prime minister, has no ground to exist. The South Korean newspapers Gyeongyang Daily News, Munhwa Ilbo, and Hanguk Ilbo, and internet newspaper Minjok Ilbo carried editorials on June 26th in protest against the Park Geun-hye's decision on keeping Chung Hong-won in office as Prime Minister. And the All-People Major Council for the Ferry Sewol disaster issued a statement condemning Park for keeping the criminal for the ferry disaster in the post of Prime Minister. The South Korean internet newspaper Voice of People posted an editorial on June 27th exposing that the Park Geun-hye regime's suppression of the teachers' union is a part-backed rule for so-called public security and a trick to escape from the political crisis. Ali Hudu, president of the Socialist Party of Benin, issued a press statement on June 20th on the occasion of the June 25th to July 27th month of anti-US joint struggle. The press statement supports the Workers' Party of Korea and the Korean people in their just struggle to defend the dignity and sovereignty of the country, build a thriving nation, and accomplish the cause of country's reunification. And that's the end of the news read by Kim Hyun-ok and Cha Jung-nam. This is Voice of Korea. The Daily Robin Sinmun ran a commentary on Monday under the title, "Source of Disaster Should Be Removed." The commentary said, some time ago, Moon Chang-guk, who was a candidate for the South Korean Prime Minister, resigned 14 days after informal designation due to the strong public opposition. Earlier, Ahn Dae-hee, who had been informally designated for the Prime Minister, also resigned. South Koreans of different stripes brand Kim Gi-chun, Chief Secretary of the Blue House, as the chieftain of repeated failure in personnel affairs and strongly demand him immediately resign, taking all responsibility for it. Moreover, the group of the Tanri Party that gobbled up Kim Gi-chun so far feels uneasy at another possible disaster. Ignoring such public opinion with silence, however, the South Korean chief executive keeps at the post of Prime Minister Chung Hong-won, who already submitted his resignation for the responsibility for the Ferry Sewol disaster under the pretext of preventing long-term vacuum of state administration due to Moon's resignation. It is an open patronage of Kim Ki-chung, which is mockery of and challenge to the indignant public. It is as foolish as digging her own grave that Park Geun-hye attempts to save the regime from collapse, keeping Kim Ki-chung as good as the living dead, custom condemned by the public and her wing. The South Korean people will not pardon Kim Ki-chung, and patronizers of such humans come as well, the commentary added. That's the commentary under the title, Source of Disaster Should Be Removed, carried in the daily Rodong Sinmun on Monday. This is Voice of Korea.
Now, you will appreciate the immortal masterpiece, Nostalgia, created by the Korean leader Kim Il-sung during the anti-Japanese revolutionary struggle. people. The true servants of the people. The Pride Kim Jong-il declared it as the supreme crystal of the activities of the Workers' Party of Korea to struggle for the popular masses and ensure their interests, and always told officials to observe the principle. The following happened one day in January 1986 or 1997. Senate officials then said the resolution advances and the country prospers if they show appearance with the people and serve them. Otherwise, they would be rejected by the people and cannot avoid self-destruction. He continued that only when the officials work for the people and serve them can they enjoy their actual support and win victory in the revolution, and they should keep it in mind and become true servants of the people. It was the upward outlook on the people of Kim Jong-il, who regarded the people as his God and devoted his all to them. Be true servants of the people. His instructions take deep in the mind of the officials and inspire them to truly serve the people. In support of this noble intention, many officials in different parts of the country are devoting their sincerity to the people. They think first of the interests of the people when they plan something and give priority to the end of the people in organizing and promoting any work. Everywhere we go, we can find trustworthy officials making a breakthrough at the head of the people, ordering, "Forward behind me." And such reliable officials mix with the people without even an inch of gap and leading them along the road of patriotism. You've been listening to an account under the title, Be True Servants of the People. This is Voice of Korea. You enjoy your female soul in Pangchang, our comrade Kim Sang-il.
on the
Joy Music. She's live.
enjoy your mixed quintet and ensemble, Pian to the Motherland. Now you enjoy the song, Life of Your Country. My country is brilliant forever with a benevolent satellite and bright satellite. We advance the large future with the greatest pride in the world. Oh, great is the place where we live, the bosom of Russia, Kim Jong-un. Oh, life of our country that realizes all hopes of people for prosperity.
Dear listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 13,650 kHz. For Middle East and Northern Africa between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kHz.